If we have another gap to go, sure, potentially 90 miles.
And the temperature and the altitude. And
yes, and so there's a lot to consider. Be very interested to see if the National Guard decides to do anything, or if they're just going to go up and monitor. Greg, as Greg said, Greg, you'll tell us they don't have one in the manual for this.
No, they don't. It's going to be seat of the pants, trying to figure out what would be the best and safest option. Do we know, Marty, based on what you've looked at as far as the forecast, if the cloud deck remains, I think you were saying that it's, what, 35 or 4,000 feet AGL?
Yes, above ground level, yes.
And so do those clouds remain that high all the way out to the eastern plains, or does it look like the weather gets better or worse the further you go?
As he goes to the south and east, the cloud deck might actually get a little bit lower, but I'm talking about probably east of Lyman later in the day. My anticipation is that he being the child in the aircraft there, he should be able to stay below the clouds. Given the weather situation that we have today, I feel pretty confident that he should be able to stay below cloud level as we go through the day today. And even if you were to get, one of a nice little scenario would be to actually get under a little rain shower. We may actually see one or two rain showers on the extreme eastern plains again this afternoon, as we did this morning. You get into the rain shower, you get kind of in that evaporative cooling under the rain shaft, and you could actually cool that helium off a little bit, shrink it down, and get that balloon to lower a little bit in a more controlled way. But that again is speculation, and that's in some ways just wishful thinking. So we have earlier tape of what this craft looks like, a homemade helium balloon, lighter than air helium balloon. The folks at the Weld County Sheriff's Department believe it to be around 20 feet or so in diameter and about 6 feet high. It has that enclosed basket. That's why we haven't been able to see the 6-year-old child inside.
And again, this started about 11 a.m., and the best information everyone is able to gather at this point will come from the man that actually built it, and it was this boy's father in the case. And again, we got that call initially. We want to explain why Sky 9 is involved in kind of tracking this flight, certainly an unplanned flight and harrowing situation for this family. Was the family called us first, and we did not want to release any names or any other details until we got that confirmed. But Adam Chodak is at the family's home in Fort Collins, and he has some new information. Adam.
Right, Kim. Police did just release the boy's name. His name is Falcon Heene. His age, 6 years old. The last name is spelled Heene. The father is Richard Heene, same spelling on the last name. According to police, father and son had been doing experiments on this homemade balloon, letting it hover just off the ground a couple of feet. The ropes attached to the bottom of the basket were supposed to stop the balloon from moving any farther than that, but according to police, those ropes were untethered. We don't know why. We only know the result, which we're seeing very clearly from Sky 9 right now. Police say that Richard Heene is inside the house right now with his wife. We have seen another boy come out. The Larimer County Sheriff's Office is also on hand. And one thing to note, it was probably assumed that the boy was in the basket, but just to be sure, police did search the house, Kim, and they did not find Falcon.
Okay, and we've been talking to the experts that can explain a little bit about what we can expect in this situation, Adam, and they said really as they try to attempt to make a rescue that as far as we know, they've never done anything like this before. The best information is going to come from Dad in this case, and I guess he's kind of an amateur scientist. Obviously, he's interested in aviation. He's going to be able to tell them everything about this thing that he built.
Exactly, and he already has very cooperative, of course, in this case. If you look in the garage, you see a lot of woodwork, a lot of equipment that he could use to build these things. He's most likely very knowledgeable about this particular aircraft, and people have been going in and out talking to him and relaying the message to the Weld County Dispatch, hoping to get that information relayed to those who might be able to make a rescue.
And we know, as you mentioned, that the boy's name in this case, Falcon, he is 6 years old, and he was working with his dad, and I guess when you're watching something like this, you're just hoping for any little bit of hope that you can find for a miracle here.